Where is the guy?
There is no guy.
What?
I'm gay.
Ciao, old Thomas here, and today we continue our journey into RWBY Volume 2. Last time on Dragon Ball Z, we decided to do plot things and went to do some investigation. Weiss got some files about her family company or whatever. We think they might help us, we're not quite sure. And Blake went to a civil rights rally and discovered that actually civil rights are bad, apparently, I guess. I don't know. And also someone in the Atlas military might be giving Roman war machines. Will we ever know who that person is? No, because it doesn't matter. Oh, also, Penny does the robot because she is a robot. She beep boop bops.
Hey, that's pretty catchy.
And now we're gonna have some downtime for the dance arc. Listen, bitch. A lot of people don't like the dance arc, and I can understand why. These girls already don't do much plot. However, I still contend this is one of my favorite parts of the show, because I love it when characters have downtime. I love spending time with the characters, just vibing, chilling, having fun. And I still argue that for the most part, it is fun here. It's quite cute. Would it be better if there was an actual plot also going on? Yes. That's it. That's the end of my statement. Also, for the record, I was absolutely blasting Time to Say Goodbye to hype myself up for this because that intro is fire. Anyway, let's do this. Oh, starting on Pyrrha. With this dramatic lighting in the locker room as she gets ready is so good. What a way to start the episode and set the tone. And it's also kind of nice because so far in Volume 2, we haven't really focused on Pyrrha or Team Juniper. Oh, interspersing it with the fight she's about to have with Team Cardinal is so great. Also, I will say, this is very cathartic after suffering through the Jean arc last volume. It's like I'm getting to have my revenge through Pyrrha, and I appreciate that. God, I love her. I love her design. I love the way she carries herself. She's so fucking fierce, man. The fact she can take a whole ass team like this, no problem. Granted, it is Team Cardinal, and they are deeply stupid and useless, but I'm still savoring it. There's so much grace and style to this. Just look at the way that she's like practically dancing around them, weaving through their attacks, using their own weight against them, and the way it's synced up with the music as well. I think I've seen comments about it. It's a common thing that people say with the early volumes where the fights feel like music videos, and they are correct. Pyrrha is a moment, a legend, an icon, and she deserved to be her own fucking character, god damn it. This almost makes me sad knowing what's coming because it's like, it's going to be more of Pyrrha still fawning over Jean and not standing up for herself. And I really wish Pyrrha got to be her own character beyond just a crush on Jean. Like, I don't know, delve into like her celebrity status a bit more. Like, she'll talk about it a little bit, but they don't do nearly enough with it. She does it so effortlessly. We have no choice but to stand. Pyrrha has banished you to the background. Now get out of my sight.
Lucky shot.
Oh, Glenda has a black scroll. Okay. Because I thought all the scrolls were white. Can we have more of them? Because, like, not only do they look sleek, but it's like, I kind of like the contrast between the black and then the holographic elements.
Miss Belladonna, you've been rather docile for the past few classes.
Oh, poor Blake getting called out like that. Getting dragged. Oh, even the walls up in the stands are holographic. That's cute.
I wanna fight her.
Me?
Ooh, the way I'm just like, you better leave my girl alone, you sleazy fuck. The fact that Mercury has already done a murder so far, though, it's like, ooh, it really puts you on edge because you're like, ooh. Though it also makes me wish that like Emerald and Mercury were more antagonistic with the main characters because moments like this are so rare in this goddamn show. Emerald, don't even try it. You keep your hallucinations out of this, okay? You don't get to torment my girl until next season. I gotta say, I really also like that Mercury's fighting style is so kick-based. I feel like you don't get to see that a lot, and I think that's also a neat nod to his fairy tale reference.
Hey, your friend's doing pretty good.
And if you wonder if I hate you,
I do.
Emerald's just like, I fucking hate this red hooded bitch. She's like, I hope Red Riding Hood gets eaten by the big bad wolf. The slow motion on that is so good, but also like him noticing. You know, there's this interesting note he makes later on that Pyrrha has to make contact with the metal before it can work. I don't know if that's consistent, but I think that is an actually very interesting way to limit her power. And it made me realize, I think Toph, when she metal bends in Avatar, she has to make physical contact with it. She can't do it like from a distance. I don't know, I just find that neat.
I forfeit.
You don't even want to try?
You're a world-renowned fighter. We're obviously leagues apart.
Yeah, it's like a victory technically for Pyrrha, but it's like Mercury got all he needed to know out of this.
Learning is so much fun.
And if you want it, if I hate you, fuck you.
Mercury, I hope you step on a leg. Wait, no, I don't think that would actually hurt him though, because he has prosthetic legs. I don't think they come with like nerve endings. I don't think. I hope he falls on a Lego face first. There we go. Equality. You know, seeing all the buildings of Beacon like this, it makes me wish we got a proper layout for the school. I would love to see the layout of the campus, actually. Although I'm still bitter it's gray. It's like, come on. It can't be green like the Emerald City. Ugh, whatever.
The dance this weekend. You want to go or what?
I don't have time for a stupid dance. I thought you, of all people, would get that.
Aw, I mean, you tried, son. I'm sorry. I will say, I do wish characters were allowed to just normally date. It's not even a RWBY thing. It's a lot of shows similar to Atla, where it's like, characters don't get to just date. They have to like be slow burns, well, won't they forever? And it's quite annoying, especially watching more shows where characters do actually date. It's like, I'd rather all that messiness. I would have liked if Blake and Sun did try to have a relationship for a little while. Like, I love their friendship, and I know they're not endgame, but you know, I would have liked it.
Thanks to you and Sun, we know they're operating somewhere outside of Southeast Vale.
There are still unanswered questions.
Blake is trying to figure out what the plot is, and Miles and Carrie are like, we don't know, girl. We don't know. Weiss's discovery isn't even that big a deal, because it's like, girl, we've been new. We've been new about the dust robberies in Vale.
It will be fun. Yang and I will make sure of it.
Yeah, we're planning the whole event.
Excuse me? Team Coffee's away mission lasted longer than expected.
I hate the offhand mention of coffee, as if we should know who those bitches are. Granted, we know, because we are diseased bitches, but still. Normal people are like, who?
And once it's all over, we'll return to our search, rested and ready.
I think this is a colossal waste of time.
Oh, I mean, I get where Blake is coming from, I do. And normally I would agree. In a better written show, I think this would be very compelling. But I see what they're going for. It's like, girl, you need your rest. You need your fun. It's what helps recharge you and get ready for what horrible things are coming. Like John's terrible singing.
Boo, tomato, 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 I'm throwing tomato.
The fact he hasn't even given up, this is not endearing, this is just annoying.
I promise not to sing.
Weiss, you should have taken this as an opportunity for a Tom and Jerry moment, where you snatch the guitar from his hands and hit him over the goddamn head with it, and let him walk down the hall in shame with the guitar as a fucking necklace. He'll be fine. His aura protects him or whatever.
No.
Take it for an answer.
All my life, boys have only cared about the perks of my last name.
Oof. I would like to see more of that. I would like to know about what the girls do in their off time or what their lives were like before Beacon. Honestly, I'm shocked Weiss wasn't stuck in a fucking arranged marriage or a fiancé-ship. Fiancé-ship? The word is engagement, you fucking fool. Self.
I was wondering if you'd like to be my forever girlfriend.
No.
Fiancé-ship. I don't know, like Henry Marigold or whatever the fuck his name is. I'm diseased, the fact that I remember. But I'm like, why couldn't that have just been her fiance arranged by Jacques? You know, like marry her off because, you know, women are property. Ugh.
I'm actually thinking maybe we just skip Aura tonight.
Insert Zillia joke about direct tethering.
Jude, you direct tethered with her?
Yeah. Muse asked me to. Was that bad?
Bad? It's, direct tethering is something a spirit and a human do when,
Diseased. By Lady Gaga.
It's Weiss.
Oh.
I asked her to the dance and she shot me down.
Plenty of fish in the sea.
That's easy for you to say. You've probably got guys clamoring over each other just to ask you out.
God, I wish I was dead.
Oh, Pyrrha, I'm sorry, sweetie. Can we also talk about the fact that, like, Pyrrha is tall and athletic, but still has to be shorter than Jean because the woman always has to be shorter than the man? I hate it here. Where are the rights for the short kings? Where are the short kings? I feel like with Jean, it should be like, not that Pyrrha's out of relationship, because no one is out of relationship, but it's like, it should be like a lesson that, you know, you need to keep your mind open to the kind of person you might have a connection with, because you can't really control that. It's like, yeah, the athletic, muscular, badass, bad bitch, tall woman who's taller than you, you know, she might be yours.
And finally, Pyrrha Nikos. Ah, the invincible girl.
The fact that Cinder is sewing as she's having this conversation, you may be a horrible character, but you are quite talented to be able to pull that off, I must say. I would like if they focus more on Cinder like sewing dust into her clothes. Ugh, another thing I wish they did more with. Good lord. Make it a list. Make it a list.
She doesn't broadcast her power, so it puts her opponents at a disadvantage. People assume she's fated for victory, when she's really taken fate into her own hands.
This feels weird considering I recorded the fortune teller episode of Avatar earlier today. What's happening?
Add her to the list.
You better throw that list in the garbage, bitch. It's interesting that it's like, they're trying to keep it vague, but it's like, I assume a list of potential threats to deal with. My crackhead brain wants to be like, it's a list of maidens or potential maidens. But girl, they didn't know what a maiden was at this time.
It's not about overpowering the enemy. It's about taking away what power they have.
Oh, Cinder, you want to be scary, and you just aren't. Okay, yeah, not a lot happened in that episode. I feel like this is the thing with the shorter episodes, is that they're trying to do long-running stories, and they're bumping up against their run times. I feel like just embracing more episodic storytelling would be better, just to see how much you can achieve in like 12, 13 minutes. Like, you know, this is just making me really wish RWBY got to be like a full show where it's like we could have 26 episode seasons for the characters to goof around a little bit. You know, like in Wings Club in the first season where they would have moments to go off into Black Mud Swamp or go have fun in Magic City. But there was still an overarching plot. I think RWBY could actually really benefit from not only more, I say more as if there is an actual plot, but also, you know, downtime. Some time to spend with the characters, have them goof off, have them bond in their relationships, have them, I don't know, date. Just a thought. Maybe show some actual interest in their extracurriculars. Bitch. And now, burning the candle. Also known as, oh my god, Yang has a story? I can't believe it took a season and a half for her to fucking get some kind of material to work with. Unbelievable. Unbe-fucking-lievable. Disgusting. Reprehensible. Show, give reparations to my misshapen spark. Oh god, I remember when these were coming out though, I would rewatch the hell out of these like every week. I think this one in particular I really liked when it came out. I was just like so hooked on that backstory, bitch. Also this scene.
I need you to pick a tablecloth. Aren't they both the same?
Cut the cameras. Dead ass.
Weiss? I hate that I relate to Weiss. Although both of those colors are hideous. What is that, lake gray? That's like the color of your Volume 4 outfit. Disgusting. No, get it away from me. However, if you don't know the difference between lavender and lilac, you're dead to me. Just like you're dead inside. The fact that Yang carried the speaker no problem. I love her.
No doilies. If I don't get doilies, you don't get fog machines.
Well, it would appear we get neither. The lesson is no one gets what they want. Our dreams are unachievable. I mean, it's 2025. We already knew that, so.
Laugh all you want. I'll be turning heads tomorrow night.
This makes me so sad that their dresses end up looking fucking hideous for the most part.
I may have moved to Mistral, but I grew up in Vacuo. It's not exactly a shirt and tie kind of place.
Yeah, we've noticed.
The dragging. I really wish we got to have a Yang and Sun friendship. I think they would be best buds. I think they would go to the gym together.
She's still being all, you know, flaky.
Obviously. I still can't think of a way to change her mind.
Oh, RWBY. This makes me wish RWBY and Blake had more friendship. Maybe Blake snapping at RWBY's optimism and RWBY being like, am I actually a dumb child? I would love that. And then Weiss goes feral because it's like, what did you just say to RWBY? What the fuck did you just say?
Here we go.
Oh god, the laser pointer. I remember when this came out, young me loved it because cat jokes, because I am a cat. But it's like, when the cat traits are racialized traits, like literally civil rights stuff. You know what it gives? It's giving like jokes about black people and like fried chicken. The only acceptable form of this is joking about French people and baguettes. Because fuck the French.
Like Madame Craphair, the helpful toilet. Ma belle, your dress, it is stuck in your belt. Ho ho ho, don't worry. It happened to me all the time back when I had leg.
Alternatively, Italians and organized crime. As Italian trash, I gave you permission.
Hello!
Okay, the singing was very cute. Ugh, I wish we had a less yikesy version of that, because that would have been adorable otherwise.
Huh? We need to talk.
The way younger me was like, are they about to be gay? And then they never were. Ren is not meaning the homosexual allegations, though. I'm just saying.
I'm just gonna come out and say it. You are one of my best friends. These past few months, I feel like we've really bonded. Even though you don't say much.
Who are you again?
Well, maybe that's because you don't ask, Jean. Maybe you should talk to your teammates, Jean. Maybe you should include them on your missions, Jean. No, I'm not over them being sidelined during the Jean arc.
Girls.
Girls?
Ren is like, girls? What are those? Although I'm also like, you can tell that cishet dudes wrote this. Ugh.
I just don't know how to... girls,
I'm gonna be so real. I remember, like, being young. If I knew what non-binary was, like, I would have figured this out way sooner. Gender shit made no sense to me growing up. I was like, why are y'all acting like we're different species? I don't understand it.
It's Weiss. I'm completely head over heels for her, and she won't even give me a chance. She's smart and graceful and talented.
And racist.
I mean, have you heard her sing?
Well, no, not since the white trailer, because they won't let her.
I wish I could tell her how I feel without messing it all up.
Jean, you keep saying it, and she keeps saying no, so take the fucking hint. But the fact that Pyrrha is, like, still rooting for him, I'm like, Pyrrha, stand up. Stand up.
No ridiculous schemes, no pickup lines. Just be honest. You can't get it wrong if it's the truth.
I mean, I love that she's not, like, hounding him the way that he's hounding Weiss, but at the same time, I'm so pissed. You can't get it wrong, though, if that's the truth. I still love that line. That line still eats. You ate that one thing. You ate that one thing.
Practice what you preach, Pyrrha.
I can't believe I went this whole scene without commenting on the boob shirt. I won't. Will the rest of Team Juniper ever matter? No. Anyway.
The necessity is stopping Torchwick, and we're going to. But first you have to sit down and listen to what I have to say.
The fact that Yang is just sitting on the fucking desk. I love her. Also, the lighting is killer in this. We have somber, dramatic lighting. Perfect for a backstory. If only there weren't smoke detectors so that we could start a fire on this. We could use one of the chairs as firewood.
Her name was Summer Rose, and she was like super mom. Baker of cookies and slayer of giant monsters.
Aww, she sounds iconic. I really wish we got to know more about Summer Rose and she wasn't just lore. Like, I would love to hear actual stories with details about her as a character. Who was she? What did she stand for? What was her personality?
What do I stand for? What do I stand for?
Summer wasn't the first love he'd lost. She was the second. The first was my mom.
Oof, the confirmation of the half-sistership. We all went feral. Feral.
Why did she leave you? That question. Why?
I can't wait for this to have, like, negative payoff.
Why did she leave you?
I don't give a fuck. Do I look like I give a fuck? Because I don't.
The version of Raven we all had in our heads was so much cooler than anything we actually got. And that's the greatest tragedy. That's just the whole show. What am I talking about?
I found something. What I thought was a clue that could lead me to answers. Or maybe even my mother.
Okay, using the different art style for the flashback, I think it's actually really a cool idea. I think in terms of resources, it's because this is a lot easier to handle. We don't have to build whole sets of the forest or Young Yang or anything. But it's also a nice delineation and it fits the tone quite well. Soft and whimsical, but also kind of scary.
I waited for Dad to leave the house, put Ruby in a wagon, and headed out.
Yeah, I'm a bad bitch. You can't kill me.
Baby Yang, you were a dumbass, but you know, you went for what you wanted and I respect that.
We might as well have been served on a silver platter. But, as luck would have it, our uncle showed up just in time.
And also Uncle Crow. They really knew how to build hype, but never deliver.
I still want to know what happened to my mother and why she left me, but I will never let that search control me. We're going to find the answers we're looking for, Blake. But if we destroy ourselves in the process, then what good are we?
Although I'm wondering, did she draw all that on the chalkboard?
Well, yes.
Oh my gosh, she drew his emblem. I wonder if they take workshops on how to design their own emblems. The Huntsman Academies are like, you need to understand branding.
You don't understand. I'm the only one who can do this. No, you don't understand.
I will say the fact that Blake still doesn't get it, I'm not shocked. I'm really not. Because Blake is like, it's tough to talk about it because the plot is so stupid and baked in stupid shit. But I do get it. If she blames herself and she wants to be gung-ho about stopping things, she's going to view resting as like something to feel guilty about.
I'm not asking you to stop. Just please, get some rest. Not just for you, but for the people you care about.
Oh, I appreciate Yang. I love this Yang. I will say, all the Bumblebee shippers, we went feral on that ship, man.
And if you feel like coming out tomorrow, I'll save you a dance.
And the realty is, we didn't have to wait 9 volumes for it. They could have just dated. They could have just dated like normal humans, but they did not because queerbait. And also, we don't want to offend the reactionary dude bros watching who don't like gays.
I know this is a little unorthodox, but I wanted to ask you something.
Weiss, also, please raise your standards. It's the way no one is raising their standards. Everyone's standard is hell. Well, at least Jean's sad. Okay, the transition with the flower into this next scene, that was excellent. Unlike Yang's dress, what is she wearing? Good God.
Oh, you look beautiful! Can we have a serious talk about how Weiss fights in these?
Someone else pointed this out. They're also ghostly pale, that it's like white on any of them doesn't look good. I guess melanin just doesn't exist on Remnant. Shocking. This coming from the racist chicken tooth company. Ooh, girl. I hate that Sun's outfit is literally just regular outfit, but a black shirt. Disgusting. Blake's dress looks like something a grandmother would wear, which feels like an insult to grandmothers everywhere. I apologize. I don't mind all the background bitches looking basic, but like, these dresses suck. Ugh. Thank God for fan artists coming to the rescue. They're just so basic. They look like stock dresses. And Yang's doesn't even look like her body. It looks like a background body with her face plastered onto it.
That can't be it. Where's the rest of it?
Also, the fact that both dances, Blake and Yang's dance, and then Blake and Sun's dance, we don't get to see them, disgusting. I will fight everyone. Everyone.
I'm just not much of a fancy-pantsy dancy girl.
She's not like other girls. She's socially awkward. 2010's quirky girl. Ruby's absolutely a Tumblr girl. You can't change my mind.
If you think about it, fighting and dancing aren't so different. Two partners interlocked.
It's the way Ozpin always managed to sound so eloquent. I'm half convinced that Shannon McCormick was just ad-libbing the shit and Miles and Carrie were just in awe.
Nights like these are ones we'll forget.
You guys are just in time.
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
I sense danger. Ooh, oh yeah, Dream Come True is in the credits. I forgot.
Whenever I think of you.
I'm so mad. There are so many great songs, especially in the early volumes, that never made it into the show proper, and it annoys the shit out of me. Like, what do you mean Dream Come True when All Our Days aren't in the actual show? How fucking dare you? That's a hate crime. That is a hate crime. Yeah, the Yang story is kind of interesting. It's just, RWBY does this thing, I should say did.
You wound me.
RWBY did this thing where like they would always give you the mystery box. They would be like, we studied J.J. Abrams. Here's a mystery box. Here are several mystery boxes. And then you would be like, cool. Where's the plot for like right now? And then Miles and Carrie would say, here's a mystery box. And it's just like, ooh. A mystery box isn't very good, but when you open it, it always turns out like shit. Because like the Raven shit, I hate knowing where it's going because it's going to be so bad, man. It's so frustrating. And now, Dance Infiltration. Okay, can we just talk about like how good of a title that is? That's excellent. Okay, so I'm bringing up the episode to play now, and I just kind of stumbled on that one shot of, there's like a bunch of shots that only last like a single frame in the intro. It's the one of Ironwood and his soldiers standing there menacingly. I think they're on his airship. I love the aesthetic with the white kind of unfinished backgrounds. It leads to this very abstract feeling in this intro that I really like. But like Penny is there and she's kind of nervous. You can tell she's like a little wary of Ironwood. And I'm like, ugh, it was right there. I'm going to try to hold myself back because it's like, I already yelled about this last time. But like, it's so obvious in hindsight who the antagonist of this volume should have been. Like, come on, seriously. I'm going to assume this means Porta Nubleck are on a date. You will pry this from my cold dead hands.
What about me, babe?
Go hug a landmine.
Did Ironwood attend the Jean school of wear them down? Because if so, yikes.
To the socially awkward.
Okay, that's cute. Ruby and Jean's friendship is one of the few things about Jean where I'm like, okay, I feel less hatred for you.
Weiss came to the dance alone.
What?
Ooh, that plot twist, though. Oh, poor Weiss. I don't know. I really feel for her. Like, it's a small thing, but it's like, I tend to think that, like, growing up really isolated and alone, Weiss, I don't know. I feel like love would be kind of really important to Weiss.
Hold my punch.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Ruby, you're disgusting. The fact that Jean is the one to do this, like, whatever. Personally, I would have liked it if Ruby cared more about Weiss feeling alone and sad, but whatever, I guess. Ruby slicing up Neptune, please. Okay, at least you're checking on Pyrrha. At least you care about her. That's something, I guess. Pyrrha's dress is a fucking travesty, though. Holy shit. You couldn't have, like, gone for, like, a toga or, like, a Greek-themed dress. Just this solid red thing. Also, is it me or her arms, like, pink-toned? Like, they don't match her face at all. It looks horrific.
Where is the guy?
There is no guy.
What?
I'm gay.
Oh, poor Pyrrha. I really like her little speech here of like, I still maintain that fame is a hideous thing. Fame is like a nightmare.
When you're placed on a pedestal like that for so long, you become separated from the people that put you there in the first place. It's become impossible to form any sort of meaningful relationship with people.
People are screaming about how much they love you, and yet you feel so alone. We could have had such a rich character story here beyond this one fucking moment, and we didn't. It's like a window into what Pyrrha could have been if we just put a little bit more effort in. If it didn't all have to be about Jean.
When we met, you didn't even know my name. You treated me just like anyone else. You're the kind of guy I wish I was here with. Someone who just saw me for me.
What this is telling me is that Pyrrha was incredibly sad and lonely and desperate, and Jean should be put to death. Oh, great, Neptune's here.
Didn't you recognize me?
Of course I recognized you. That's why I slammed the door in your face.
Oh, great. A scene where the writers are voicing both characters on a balcony talking about the girls. Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much.
Do you even care about the girls you're hitting on? How they feel about you? Whoa.
I guess Jean is supposed to seem like a progressive feminist icon here, and I don't care. At least he's not leeching as much screen time as he did in Volume 1. I feel like this is a bit more acceptable. But again, it's like Ren and Nora are nowhere to be found, and it's not even really about Pyrrha, it's about Jean.
What in the world could possibly keep you from
Can't dance.
I'm so mad I could scream.
This haunts my nightmares. Are you fucking kidding me? This is your big reason why?
But you're so cool. Thank you.
I'm gonna take this and kill you both with it.
Is it like something that really would happen? Probably, yeah, but like that doesn't make it a satisfying conclusion. I want to break his legs so that he will not dance.
If you want Weiss, she's all yours.
She's not a possession, you fuck. At least I don't feel like infuriated by this. It's not as egregious as last volume, thank God. I feel like Jean, they reined it in a lot to where this feels more acceptable, but I would still like more content for the rest of his team, please.
Does that sound like something you want?
Yes.
Well, let me tell you, you'll never get it.
Oh, Penny. Penny can't even dance. She just has to stand there awkwardly. That's so rude. Ugh. And like, surely, like, that would just draw more attention to her. The soldiers.
Jean?
Promise is a promise.
Okay, yeah, I feel torn on how to feel about the Jean dress thing. Because on the one hand, yeah, sure, feminist icon, man unafraid to wear dress. But on the other hand, it's like the joke is man wearing dress. So, yeah. You know what? I will allow it this one time. Although the worst part is still the texturing on his muscles because they look horrific.
This is happening!
Wait, what is happening?
The most meme-worthy moment ever. I still love the Juniper dance. I love that version where it's all different models doing this dance. It's everything. I remember when this ruled our minds. Ugh, a better time. Well, not really, but you know. At least Shine got to be in the show. F in the chat for dream come true.
You said you were embarrassed at first. What made you come talk to me?
You're looking at him. You've got some good friends looking out for you.
Oh, that was cute. See, even when I'm annoyed, there are still moments in this volume where like my heart feels a little bit warmer. And I appreciate that. It's before all the soul got ripped out. It's the way that this will go nowhere. Weiss and Neptune will have no more moments whatsoever. I remember when Volume 5 came out, I was so excited to see Neptune again. I was like, oh my god, what if Weiss and Neptune get to actually talk again? And then Neptune was nowhere to be found. Because that school was emptier than Trump's rallies. Because that school was emptier than Elon Musk's brain. Oh, Penny's doing the robot! The soldier's doing it with her. Oh, this is so cute.
You should probably be home by midnight to be safe.
I'll keep my eye on the clock.
Okay, this little nod to Cinderella, though, with the clock striking midnight and Cinder trying to do her infiltration, that's cute. That's cute. I like that. It's also the closest thing we'll ever get to RWBY versus Cinder. God damn it. Is this animation an oof? Yes. However, it's not egregious enough for me to hate it, so whatever. At least the infiltration outfit slays. Wow, these soldiers are useless. Wild they don't have security cameras for this, though. Okay, her clothes lighting up as she uses her powers is so cool. The fact it's an all-black outfit really helps that orange glow stand out more. And her summoning the blades, too, like, that is so cool. The fact that it's like Cinderella, but she makes her own glass slippers through fire is so cool. And it's black glass, like obsidian. That... Cinder has literally everything going for her. She could have been everything. She could have been the new Azula. But no. No. Yeah, I also really like, in Poser, her hair is more like a smoky black color. And then it cascades to gray at the bottom. I really like that. It's not just straight up jet black. I feel like that's a good nod to her kind of power, but also a nice way to differentiate her from Blake. Because it's like they're both pale girlies with like black hair and yellow eyes, so they need more separating them besides cat ears. Damn, those lockers are useful.
Do you know the Wi-Fi password? It's beacon, but replace the E with a 3 and add a pound symbol to the end.
12 seconds later.
That's handy.
Not her getting the Wi-Fi password. Now we're all doomed. I hate that this comm center is the only place where all the green is. That's a war crime. Ooh, the chess piece. Really good imagery there, I will say. I really like the Black Queen being like a symbol for like Salem and her faction.
Hello?
Goddamn heels. If only we were the Winx Club. They know how to fight in heels.
If I had known we'd be hiking, I wouldn't have worn heels. Come on, Stella. We always wear heels.
Until season 7.
Hello?
I rise.
Not the ominous rise. The fact that this basic ass mask is all she needs to hide her identity is stupid. But you know, a lot of media has done this where people don't recognize their identities with basic ass masks or even no masks. So I will allow it.
You know, it's not a masquerade party, so why don't you take off that...
Her summoning the dust to explode and then summoning the... So good! It's so fucking good! And then her little theme, the choir coming out. Moments of greatness. Oh, and the glyphs. Excellent way to change your outfit. It gave she was kind of casting a spell. Ugh, I would love it if spell casting were actually a thing for magic in this show. The way Emerald was probably like hoping Cinder would dance with her, and it's like, no. I hate that Cinder actually got a good dress. The slight sparkling on that black dress, the arm warmers, the earrings, the weird feather bit on the front of the dress, it's everything. Cinder, fashion icon, until Atlas.
So then what now?
Enjoy the rest of the night. After all, it is a party.
Oh, Cinder, you could have been everything. You could have been everything, bitch. You and Pyrrha both, dark mirror twins, both of whom shall never know their full potential. Ending it on the chiming of the clock striking midnight, though, that's neat. Why does RWBY look like she's in trouble, though? I remember being like, is Ironwood gonna be like angry or whatever? But like, no. See, it's little things like that where I'm like, is Ironwood really trustworthy? That was the dance arc. Wow. Okay, that just flew by. Yeah, it was cute. I think we could have used more in the show that was like that. I think it's just making me realize that the show is a lot of nothing. Like, if we had more of an actual story going on and more time with these characters, I think it would be so much fun. But it really feels like the show is simultaneously rushing through everything to get to the fall of Beacon while also giving us nothing and taking forever to do basic things. Somehow both at once, which is impressive and frustrating. And now, field trip. Okay, so aside from like the Zwei thing, I don't remember much about this episode. Well, that's a lie. I do remember this episode. It's just, it doesn't leave much of an impression because, you know, because it's a serialized story, there are some bridge episodes. They're not really meant to tell a story themselves. They're meant to transition you between other episodes. So this one doesn't really stand out that much, which I think is kind of sad. I don't know. It's just like, if you're so like desperate for time, it feels weird to have so many bridge episodes. Maybe that's just me.
Ozpin, they were here.
We are very much aware of that. Thank you, James.
Fantastic. You're aware.
We need to keep it vague. I mean, they know about Salem, yeah, but it's like, you know, keeping it vague so that we can figure out the details as we go.
Someone accidentally hit all the buttons on the elevator on the way up here. It wasn't me.
In which Ruby continues to be a mood. Okay, that's cool, like him commending her for her action.
But I think what you did last night is exactly what being a huntress is all about. You recognized a threat.
I don't know, I'm also just thinking like if Ironwood got to be an antagonist, like all the White Fang stuff. Ooh, girl. It's right there, come on.
Did she look familiar to you at all?
I don't know.
That mask really does wonders to like hide your identity.
I'm the master of disguise.
Save for the glass, that sounds like the woman I fought the night we met Ruby.
We appreciate characters actually putting two and two together. Ozpin clearly catching on, but being like, I'm gonna let the kids handle this.
I think I remember her saying something about a hideout or something in the southeast.
Florida.
Interesting.
Ruby, you are so deeply unsubtle.
I thought you said the intruder never...
Thank you for your cooperation, Ruby.
Cut the cameras. Deadass.
Glinda, let Oz handle this.
Please try and be discreet about this matter.
12 seconds later.
What happened?
Well, I guess discretion is out. Ironwood is immediately like, military, invasions, fleets.
F is for fire that burns down the whole town. Use for uranium. Bombs.
You treat every situation like it's a contest of measuring...
Glinda.
No, Glinda...
The guy is silent.
No, Glinda's being real about this. Like, for real. The solution to everything cannot be 5,000 airships.
N is for no survivors when you're...
Well done.
And if this truly is part of some master plan for which we know not the final move...
Okay, that's weird, though, because it's like, you do know the final move, though. You know who's behind this. It's the whole thing where, like, they're trying to keep things vague to hide it from the audience when it doesn't make sense for these characters by themselves to be this vague. It's a whole complicated thing you have to do, and it's... whatever.
That was a risky move.
No, I think you handled it well.
I'm still like, Blake really has no opinion on Ironwood. Like, nothing. Like, no fear whatsoever. Whatever. Okay.
Dad sent it to us. I thought we could open it together.
Why? The fact that he's a Cowboy Bebop reference, it was revelatory for me. God, I need to watch Cowboy Bebop. Yes, I love Zwei. You can pry him from my cold dead hands.
He said a dog? In the mail?
Blake just like, fuck dogs. No. Does it go into like questionable cat jokes? Yes. That's the end of my sentence.
At this mangy, drooling mutt is going to live with us forever?
Although Weiss being an animal person is also so unexpected and so cute, I guess it does add more contrast between her and Blake. I love that Blake is just like, get the fuck away from me, you mangy fuck. I love all the cartoon logic with Zwei, putting him in a tube and mailing him places, turning him into a goddamn fireball. I don't even want to think about what the postage on that fucking tube was.
What is he supposed to do with that? Well, that settles it.
Does this confirm that Zwei can use can openers? Has he overcome the lack of thumbs? Because if so, we might have a revolution on our hands. A corgi revolution. Wait, maybe they'll give us all healthcare. Maybe we should let this happen. Everyone gets a guaranteed sunspot.
Today we stand together, united. Mistral, Atlas, Vacuo, Vale.
Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony.
Yeah, this speech is cute or whatever, but it's like, it's just the fact that the Great War stuff is like locked in the world of Remnant bothers me so much. Like, if you didn't watch that, you'd have no idea what the Great War is or how it worked. Future me, you can jump in and explain it or something, I guess.
What follows is a brief construction montage.
Well, hello there. I hear you want to know about the Great War of Remnant. What's that? You don't? Too fucking bad. Will this be relevant? I'm not quite sure. Probably not. But you're going to learn it anyway. Because the alternative is learning it from the fucking world of Remnant. And I know none of you are going to do that, so buckle up, bitches. Now, about a century beforehand, the four kingdoms were Vale, Vacuo, Mistral, and Mantle. Atlas used to go by Mantle. It's a whole confusing thing. Just roll with it, okay? The V's and the M's. And Mantle and Mistral had an alliance because they were both dicks. And one day, Mantle said, "No more art." They decided that because Grimm were attracted to negativity, the best thing they could do was limit human expression, and so art was fucking abolished. And for some reason, Mistral followed suit, even though it's like they're their own independent nation. They're just a trade partner, but somehow they have to go along with Mantle's laws. It's very confusing anyway. So Mistral abolished art, which was weird because Mistral is a culture, allegedly, rooted in the arts and theater and also crime. And also Mistral is a very wide territory, so it's very hard to police all of it. But you know, I guess they tried. So no more art in Mistral, unless you're the Emperor. At least I assume the Emperor. They don't really get into how the government structures worked before the Great War. Whatever. So anyway, Vale was like, that's a yikes. Also, you guys use Faunus as slave labor. That's also a yikes. We don't really like that. And Mantle and Mistral were like, we didn't ask you. By the way, you should live the way we do. And eventually there was a dispute over a territory that Vale and Mistral both wanted. A fight broke out and suddenly Vale was warring against Mantle and Mistral. During all of this, Mantle had some colonies over in Vacuo. Vacuo used to be this lush, rainforesty area, but then other kingdoms were like, resources, want. And then they did a colonization. I think it was mostly Mantle. They don't really go into detail about that, but basically they turned Vacuo into a dangerous desert hellscape. That's great. And naturally Vacuo, who had tried to stay out of shit, was eventually pressured by Mantle and Mistral to join their side, but then they fought back and teamed up with Vale because alliteration. Side note, the image they use in the Great War thing for the World of Remnant, it's giving that Vacuo's leader was like a Faunus lady. She's kind of giving Sienna Khan, but more like a bull, you know, with the horns than tiger. Again, wish they went into that. And eventually, the end of the Great War was had in the deserts of Vacuo. The King of Vale, who is highly suggested to be Ozpin, showed up and wrecked everyone's shit with a big sword. Was it the Relic of Destruction? We don't know. But then he decided he didn't want to rule over his losers. He instead decided we're all going to live peacefully. They made a treaty on the Isle of Vital, they restructured all of their governments into kingdoms with councils and shit, and they established the Huntsman Academies. So the Huntsman Academies are fairly new. And that peace treaty was had 75 years before the show started. So we really only had huntsmen and huntresses for like 3/4 of a century, basically. There's so much here where I'm like, I wish this was in the show. Also, I wish you went into more detail about how the actual world worked and the cultures of these fucking kingdoms. And also, I wish this was relevant. Anyway, that's your lesson. Get out.
We hope you enjoyed this brief construction montage.
A war that was about much more than where borders fell or who traded with whom, but about the very idea of individualism itself. We fought for countless reasons, one of which being the destruction of all forms of art and self-expression.
This feels like it should be such a bigger theme than it is. And I know there were a lot of people who were like, why would Atlas be a villain? Like, they're needed for the Grimm. But like, it raises an important question. It's like, because Grimm are attracted to negativity, it makes sense to suppress people and any expression that would draw the Grimm. But then it's like, is that really the answer?
Those who opposed this tyranny began naming their children after one of the core aspects of art itself. Color.
But like, if you want the self-expression plot, like, done better. Tales of Berseria. It's actually very scarily similar. It's like, if human negativity leads to scary monsters, maybe we should rip away their free will. And the heroes are like, no, don't do that. That sounds stupid and dumb.
We encourage individuality, expressionism, and unity through diversity.
Oh my God, the way it's the way that we've come to view all of the things Osmond is talking about as bad things. You and your DEI schools. As if like diversity, equity, and inclusion are bad things. Like what? Being aware of the problems of the world and wanting to fix them? Like how monstrous.
And just because someone looks different than you or thinks differently than you doesn't mean you should be afraid of them. It means you should be angry at them. How dare they be different? What? My way of life ain't good enough for them?
I usually joke with my friends about like basic things they do. And it's like, because we are marginalized, it's like everything we do is DEI. Oh, you want to walk? You want to be able to walk somewhere without a car? You and your DEI legs.
All we have to do is shadow a huntsman working in the southeast.
Yeah, we'll follow them around my day and give them the slip at night.
At least the girls are trying to be proactive again. Okay, if this wasn't available to freshmen, why was it even listed? I know it had to be so that the scene could happen, but like, girl, what the fuck?
Any other ideas? We mail ourselves there.
I'm still curious as to how you all found yourselves at the docks last semester.
The fact that Ironwood didn't even question that part, like, girl, I guess that's a little error though, because it's like, Ruby wasn't ever at the club, but okay, sure, I'll allow it. Still confused how none of them knew about the Paladin fight or all of the deaths on the highway, but okay.
Instead of waiting for you all to break the rules, why don't we just bend them?
At least Ozpin's a real one. Ozpin is like, it's the only time you'll ever get to pretend you're main characters. Enjoy your time. Volume 2 is really kind of the last time Team RWBY really felt like the leads. Oh my God. I'm just processing now that they will never feel this proactive ever again.
Teamwork and persistence have carried you far. The things that await you beyond the protection of the kingdom will not care.
No pressure. I love that Ozpin is like really encouraging and sweet, but also like, you may surely die and perish.
Good luck.
Hey, Team Coffee is back.
More side characters we went feral for. At least their designs slap. I love Coco. I am sad though that she's based on Coco Chanel. You know, the Nazi lady. That's unfortunate. Ugh, we can't have nice things, can we?
Velvet, are you okay? I'm fine.
The fact that Velvet's outfit, though, was like a fan design, I will admit personally, I'm not that fond of it. I do like this color palette for her, but the outfit is kind of meh. But good for the fan. Like, I can't even imagine how exciting that must have been. But then again, it's also like, once again, they're Rooster Teeth profiting off the labor of their fans. It's like that one grim fan design contest. Ooh, girl.
Who's ready to fight for their lives?
This ending, though, iconic as fuck. I'm like, Oobleck, yes! I love Oobleck so much. What a great cliffhanger, though. It's like, this is the man who's coming with us into dangerous territory. We may surely fucking perish. So yeah, that was the dance sock. And, you know, it was cute or whatever. I think it just really suffers from the fact that RWBY as a show really just doesn't have a lot of time to let its characters breathe and doesn't use that time effectively. I think an arc like this could have been so much more satisfying in a better written show. Well, I mean, obviously, but like, there are so many things where it's like the character interactions, the emotional moments, Pyrrha as a character, Cinder as a character, Weiss as a character, all of these things. It's like we get little hints, little nuggets, little moments of emotional earnesty and vulnerability and insight that you really latch onto, but like they're not coming together. They're not coalescing into a greater, well-written story. They're just little moments sparsed out here and there. It's really entertaining. It's really fun in the moment, but I think I'm also just sad knowing where the show is going, that it's going to lose this sense of fun and spirit, but at the same time knowing that it never really knew what the fuck it was doing. Yeah, at least the dance was fire. Unlike their dresses.